All right, Horror Hounds, welcome to another episode of This Just In. Today we're going to be doing the ins and outs on Halloween 2, the sequel to the original sequel, the one from like 1981. So, John Carpenter did not direct this movie, but he did write it. And you can tell that he was not fully engaged when he was writing this one because he wasn't wanting to do it that badly. He did put his name into the producer's role because his friends told him he should to make money off from it since they didn't pay him what he deserved after directing the first movie. And when the movie was finished, he did watch the movie and he decided that it wasn't bloody and gory enough. Ironic, since the first movie didn't really have any blood and gore in it at all. But he saw what Friday the 13th and other movies were doing in the box office, and he said if this movie stood a chance, they needed to add some blood and gore. So he shot some new stuff. He edited it a little differently than what the director had originally wanted. And we got Halloween 2. So the first thing that's an end for me is the fact that the movie takes place on the exact same night as Halloween 1. We pick up directly where it left off. Well, not directly. They do spend like 10 minutes re-showing you what happened at the end of Halloween 1, which to me was kind of a waste. If you've watched Halloween 1, you know how it ends. You don't need to see the whole recap for Halloween 2. They could have just picked up right where Dr. Loomis was shooting him and took it off from there in the movie versus showing all the back stuff first. But the fact that it comes directly afterwards and you can watch 1 and 2 kind of together like it's a full feature, they don't feel exactly the same, but it is neat. You don't see too many movies pick up exactly where they left off. I know Friday the 13th kind of does that a little bit in the slashers, but it's not quite the same. The second thing that's an end for me is the acting. We get Jamie Lee Curtis coming back to play Laurie Strode. She does a good job with her part for what she has, but she does spend a tremendous amount of time in a hospital not doing anything during this movie. Donald Pleasant comes back as Dr. Loomis, and he does a fantastic job here as well. And then a lot of the side characters, they're pretty decent. I mean, we're not getting any awards for this movie in that sense, but they're serviceable. They do a good job. None of them annoy me, that's for sure. And that's it for my ends on Halloween 2. Now for my mixed. My first mixed is Michael Myers. In this movie, I don't find him to be as much of a threat and menacing. I feel like his walk is very slow and plodding. I know that there's a reason for it at the end, but in the beginning of the movie, he walks into like an old people's house, he grabs a knife, he just leaves. Then he picks some random girl and he kills her. But then he's walking down the street and he doesn't kill any people that he walks by. Like, what is the point? He's Michael Myers. He was just killing people in the first one. It wasn't a lot, but he still killed people, and there didn't seem to be any real connection as to why. He just did. In this one, he's not killing any of these people. Oh, but there's this one random girl he kills because we got to get a kill on the screen, obviously. Can't just show Michael Myers walking through the streets for the first hour of the movie, but we do see a lot of Michael Myers walking. And to me, that's one of the things why I'm mixed on Michael Myers, because there's so much time spent walking, and he doesn't do enough killing. But his mask still looks good in this one. It's actually the same mask that they used in the first one. It just looks a little funny because I guess Deborah Hill kept it underneath her mattress, and she was a heavy smoker, so it got a yellow tint to it. It's the 80s. They didn't know that cigarettes turned things that were white yellow. It's not her fault. And then the other part leading into that I'm mixed on is the kills. So the first kill in this movie is atrocious. I'm sorry, it's just a bad kill. We do get some better kills as the movie goes on, and it starts off very, very slow. And then we get a lot of kills more probably from about the hour mark to the end. It might even be the 45-minute mark. It's about halfway through the movie. You start to get some good kills, and they kind of build up and stuff like that. But overall, there are not a whole lot of great ones. And there's still some off-screen kill. And I hate off-screen kills. If you watch any of my reviews, I know that they do it because we don't have the budget to be showing all these great deaths, but I absolutely find off-screen kills just to be stupid. I can't stand them. And then the last thing that I'm mixed on is the setting. So most of this movie all takes place in a hospital. I usually like hospital settings. I do. In my review for Cult of Chucky, I showed how that mental hospital, I love that setting. But in this one, it's just kind of boring. There's like in the very beginning when you first get there, Laurie does. You see a kid who's in the hospital because he had bitten into an apple that had a razor blade in it or something, and he has blood coming out of his mouth. Other than that, there is nobody there. There's no patients. The only people there are the people who drove the emergency ambulance vehicle, dropped her off, the EMTs, and a couple of doctors and nurses. One security guard. There is nobody in this hospital. Makes no sense. I've been to hospitals. There's people there. Every single day there's sick people and people who get hurt. But not at this hospital. Maybe they couldn't afford the extras. I don't know. So that's my last thing on the mixed. The things that I'm out on. There's two. And it's the pacing of the movie. In the beginning, it is super, super slow, and then it comes in with like hard hitting at the end with tons of deaths out of nowhere, just to kind of ramp up those numbers and give it something new, because they had seen other slashers ramping up the numbers. But it was extremely slow in the beginning, like enough to where I was wanting to do something else besides watch this movie. It bored me in the beginning. And then the overuse of music. Holy crap. And the first one, the John Carpenter theme for Halloween, fantastic. We get it here, we get it there. They played it in good spots. In this movie, I don't know. I just felt like I was hearing different music to set the mood all the time. But there wasn't shit happening on the screen for it to be needing music. Music in that day was used to enhance a scene, to let you know, oh shit, dread is coming. Something's going to happen. And when I'm watching this one, I'm just like, there's some music playing and there's nothing going on. There's people standing in a room. It made no sense to me. All right. So, overall, this movie, this one is boring for me. I did not like it. The ending I'm mixed on, because I know that there's sequels to this, but Dr. Loomis blows himself and Michael Myers up. We don't see him. We see Michael crawling out covered in fire, and then he falls. Like they vanquished the Shape. But we know there's sequels. Like, like Michael Myers has a supernaturalness to him and all. But that's just how it ends. And I don't know. I like it a little bit, but I don't know. It just didn't work for me. The ending was a little meh. So my overall rating on this movie is a 2.75. Like, they tried. They got more kills, and they got some nice blood and gore in this one compared to the first one. But the first one's kills were impactful, and this one just felt like it was thrown in there like cannon fodder to make all of us fans happy. But with how slow the movie moved, and then it picked up later on, I don't know. This one did not work for me that much. I don't know if it's going to be my least favorite, because I do know there are two more movies in this series that people consider to be complete shit. So if this is not near their bottom, I'm a little worried. But stay tuned till the next one. We're going to be doing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not a member, hit the notification bell so you can see the next video when it airs, and leave me some comments below. Maybe you can help me understand why is Halloween 2 considered a better movie than what I'm seeing when I watch it. And until the next one, guys, rest in Peace.